help the community. And they had this crooked sheriff wrote up something and said, oh yeah, just go ahead and sign it. Well, he's a sheriff. He's, you know, you're supposed to trust him, so they signed it. Now they want to come and steal their farm, their family farm, their family fortune, and their dignity, and their elected position. I'm against it.
He wasn't a sheriff, he was a zoning inspector.
But he was a Shelby cop for a while till he got kicked out of there.
That's not a sheriff.
I understand. Sheriff.
If you're gonna argue this stuff, get it right.
Okay.
The newspaper story said that he had drafted minutes of a meeting.
Yes.
The meeting may or may not have been on a date, but he drafted minutes of a meeting where they were supposed to have taken action when they didn't. And he brought, this according to the News Journal,
Right.
he brought the minutes to the trustees, they signed them individually. And what I believe it's the Attorney General's office was alleging that by signing minutes of a meeting that didn't occur, then it was a fraudulent document. And when you hold your meetings, when we hold our meetings, we have to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. And Randy was saying, where is the file? Well, once you approve the minutes, they become part of the public record. You have to maintain that record. We also post it on the internet so the public can read the minutes of the meeting. That was my understanding. And then a couple of days ago, the third trustee had resigned, so there are no trustees.
So how do I go to my township public meeting? Bring it here? Who stands?
Well, the
who
law
stands there
states
for
that in a case like this, if you had one trustee leave, that's what happened in Madison when McDaniel resigned. The other two trustees were to take applications and appoint the third. But the other two couldn't agree on one candidate. Each one had favored a different candidate. So the statute says that it goes to the probate court, and the probate judge has to make the selection. In this case, where you've got all three trustees have resigned, there is no board to appoint somebody, so it automatically goes to the Phil Mayor, and he's got to appoint all three at this point.
Tell him I'm in the ring. He can appoint me. I live there.
Yeah, I think they ask for people to send applications
or
resumes.
Okay?
I know there's a Shelby School Board member.
Because I have issues with that court too, and I have nobody to take it to. So I need to go and talk to Phil Mayor about fraud on the court over there
Court over where?
in Shelby. I've been defrauded in that court too by Phil Nomhoff and Jerry Alt. Who do I talk to? Phil Nomhoff's an administrator, I understand that. I'll just show you one thing here. Fellas, they're all fraud. A lot, not all of them. Here's that original from the Supreme Court. That. But I filed a case, that one we just had. Shelby Municipal Court. This was filed. Judge Schaefer's the elected judge. He never appeared. He never appeared. Why not? Why didn't the judge appear? Was it never given to the judge to sign something? Kind of like mayor, you know, he don't sign stuff either, just he wants to go ahead and do it.
Well, in the case in Shelby Municipal Court, was it heard by the magistrate?
We have no magistrate.
Then what is this document here? Is this a judgment entry?
No, that's what I filed. We have no magistrate, but here is the ruling. It's filed by Jerry Alt. And it says distinctly we have a magistrate's decision, but we have no magistrate.
Well, Alt is with the Mansfield Municipal Court. You said this other one was filed in Shelby
Yes,
Municipal?
yes, sir.
What's Alt's document have to do with the Shelby case?
This is captioned in the municipal court of Shelby, Ohio.
So was he asked to hear the case?
No.
I don't know what the answer.
Nomhoff was the one that heard it, I can tell you that, I stood in front of him. And I told him right then, we do not have a magistrate, you have no standing in this court. And he doesn't, but he was there.
Nomhoff was in Shelby.
Yeah, sitting right there in the judge's chair.
Well, that's why I asked earlier. I said, you know, was it heard by a magistrate? And he said, no.
We don't have a magistrate. No, it's heard by Nomhoff.
All right. Was the Shelby municipal judge
Judge
out of
Schaefer?
town? Was he on vacation?
I had no idea.
There's gotta be a reason why
It
Nomhoff
never
was over
appeared.
there.
Well, here's a beauty, this is the one I brought.
Probably nothing in writing on that either.
Well, I can't attest to that.
This
you know, if-
signature
No, we can't either. If there's no documents, it's hard to say who's doing what.
This one was filed in the Supreme Court. That
I
was never
can't
been
tell
in
you
the
that
Supreme
there's
Court.
no documentation.
Oh, I understand, I don't know either.
There's your fraud.
I'm gonna call,
On me and the
I'm gonna
court.
call, of course, and see what I can run down on this.
If Maureen O'Connor signed it, it had to be filed with her clerk to be effective. It's never been filed in that court, but it got filed in Shelby Municipal Court, not that court. There's your fraud, and that's Nomhoff. Peculiarly, it's got 2 pages, nobody can come up with the front page. Obviously, it was sent to this number. We don't know where it came from. It came from Nomhoff's office because Maureen O'Connor never saw it. She didn't sign it. She used the same PDF file. Someone cut and pasted it on there, and there you go. Maureen's good to go, but it never got filed in her court. There's your fraud in administration right there. Can I get an answer, please?
I'd hire a lawyer, thank you.
I did. That's called prosecutor.
What do you think, Tim?
Prosecution.
Are we gonna be like-
Fraud is a crime. Look at your little placard out there. It hurts us all.
What we're gonna do, Tim, we got crime out here on the internet. I'm telling you, we need to investigate. I wanna see the sheriff, but I'm not going
know
until
what to
that
tell
other
you.
case is dealt with. I'm telling you, that's scary.
Maybe it scares you, but I don't know why it would scare you particularly.
Because I don't trust the deputies
That
in this
is
town. I'll
not-
tell you what, we got them on Facebook with partying with drug dealers, for Christ's sakes. People putting it on my website. I'm not gonna deal with these guys. I don't know who's who. One kid's brought a gun to my school. Nobody, and that's all trying to be hush hush.
Deputy
Baloney.
son. Deputy
I'm
White.
telling you what,
And
I'm
the-
telling you what, there's some stuff going
Why didn't the
on.
school board bring charges against him then? I
They
mean,
did.
that's where the,
I'm gonna tell you why.
legally, is that, am I correct in my assessment that if there were charges to be filed, it isn't brought by the sheriff, but it's brought by the school
No,
board
here's
to
the thing.
sheriff?
I understand
Am
that
right?
side of it, but here's the deal. This was posted on my page, wasn't posted
I
by.
agree with you.
Here's the deal, Tim, and here's why I think the county or the sheriff's department's involved in this. That guy's wife called my employer. I saw the emails of the Facebook stuff off my page. It wasn't me saying anything or starting anything. I give people a place to talk. They can't do it on the MNJ. When there's an article on there, I copy and paste it. These guys make fun of it because people there can't speak. They can't on my website. People come in there and tell the truth. We want the conspiracy theory crap to stop.
And Tim, you're welcome to visit Mansfield Perspective and get a.
Join it. I want every face there. I got 20, 30 deputies in there
I
now.
fuck around on the internet. I'm
Oh,
not on
okay.
Facebook, I don't do that shit.
I understand, it's crazy.
You're inviting problems to your doorstep. And you know what an old man told me a long time ago?
What's that?
95% of your problems in life you bring to your own steps.
Okay, enjoy.
Well, I'm just,
You're bringing it.
But this is a
The
sheriff's
steps.
department, bringing it to my steps. What's that? What are you telling me here?
what do you mean the sheriff's department is bringing it to
You're
your
talking
steps?
about a guy I'm exposing, and then all of a sudden I'm getting threatened at my employer. This is a county employee.
Get a lawyer and go after
I'm
it.
not getting a lawyer. I got a prosecutor in this town. If it's one of our employees, I want you to deal with it. I'm telling you, that's how. I don't have the money. Is that what you guys think it's funny? Because I don't have the money to hire an attorney?
No, I don't have the money either.
Well, then,
But,
God,
hired
but
one
I,
through
but
our-
I am fairly
To prosecute
well
crime.
okay, it's all
versed in what the duties of the prosecutor are.
good. Then I want the sheriff here so I can ask him a
prosecutor
question.
does
Because if this
not-
guy gets in my face, we're going
The
down.
prosecutor does not The prosecutor's job is to prosecute crime brought to them by the sheriff's department.
Okay, if I can't get to the sheriff, how do you
Yeah,
prosecute the
people can
crime?
bring a complaint to the prosecutor's office, yes, Tim.
That's
Because the
news
majority
to
of it is
me,
supposed to be
Randy.
brought by the deputy's
If
officer.
we have a
That's
sheriff,
news to
if
me.
we have a sheriff committing the crime, he's not gonna bring it to himself.
No, he's not.
Shit.
So we have the option.
Here's
That
what they're
part
talking
I'm
about.
not-
And so do
The kid
you,
with the
so
gun.
you as our fearless leader, you can go talk to the prosecutor.
You are.
and
You're the
say,
one that signs their
"Here's the
checks.
crime that I
You
see
told me
is
that.
It's called, people who allege a criminal activity or a conspiracy is going on. You may file with the Special Investigations Unit, one of which has to be a commissioner and the other the prosecutor. Who's the commissioner of this in Corruption Investigation Unit?
Randy.
Yeah.
Raymond, do you have an email address?
Certainly.
Let me have your email, please.
Here's what's going to take the gun. Kid stole the gun from dad. Dad knows him gone. Third time he did it. Guns are not secured in the household. Takes to school. Ruger P90 45 automatic pistol. Found in his book bag, loaded, ready to go around in the chamber. They arrest him. Lexington tries to
They arrest him.
They arrested the kid.
I think it's Lexington Police.
Lexington police
Who's
arrested him.
they? That's
Lexington
what-
police.
Yep, Lexington
Okay.
Police.
But here's where it gets interesting. They find out the kid is the son of a deputy here. So
Then it's
there
hands
are,
off.
It's quiet.
when he came with the detention center,
Ain't happening
they
here,
are
bro.
refusing to bring
We're-
up any
we're a
issue
transparent
of
group.
where he got the gun from, because they know. They're refusing to divulge information about the gun. They're basically charging the kid with 2 felony counts for gun on property, having a gun underage. Have yet, at juvenile detention center, because I've been up there to watch and talk to them, to mention one thing about the gun, where the gun come from. When they do, they shut it down. They don't hear it. The mother of the kid has been threatened by the dad, you need to shut up, let this go, leave it alone, or else. She got GO report, general offense report, 9 years ago, when they blowed up, where he beat her up and everything else. So, timestamped and everything on it, she paid money for it, those timestamped and everything else. Well, the same GO general offense report, someone recently went into a Pinto and scratched off dates and times and information and wrote it in above it. The new report she has got shows the differences.
How in the hell could they do that?
It's done, I seen it.
It's executive
It's
branch
done.
takeover. There's a fraud in our courts.
He
Our
has
clerk
got-
of
he's
courts is
taken
where the
a report
fraud's all
upstairs,
happening.
And the, trying to get full custody
Someone
of the
needs to
kids
do an investigation on
the
that. That'd be a
22nd of
good
this
job
month.
for you guys.
He has changed everything else. He has made police reports against her, had her arrested from something that happened 9 years ago. Off that report, which they buggered up big time. I've seen both reports. I've seen the original timestamp one that was actually submitted, and the new one where someone took a pencil and corrected everything. The sheriff's department is refusing to investigate him because they know what he did, but father not having a secured weapon, that's an indictable offense. There's a guy in Richland County here, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago? Kid got off a gun, went up back and shot it, and around went straight, hit someone on the remember that?
The parent is responsible for that. He can't be indicted. You're right.
Sheriff's department is refusing to look at it.
That was my
But this
problem
one
with this. That's what my problem was with the executive session, because the guy we know shot Brian Garber, Zahner, was in that executive session. So our
But there was-
curiosity
There
is,
was nothing talked about with him.
that's not what the case was about? It's another issue? What you're
This deputy
saying?
here, I'll
Yeah,
show you a picture.
it was nothing like, nothing.
I don't know what that meeting was. I have no minutes, so I have no idea.
What date was that?
The 23rd. It was 3 days before mayor shot.
That was the one with
The attorney, the hired
Wagner.
attorney.
That was the one with Wagner.
I forget the names. They're all on my paper. It was with, this is the minutes from it that I got.
It was the one
Andrew
with
Keller,
Wagner.
prosecuting attorney, assisting prosecuting attorney, suggested commissioners enter executive
Zahner
session.
left.
But he was there. I didn't know if that pertained to him in this case.
Executive session.
He was not in it.
That was not executive
Al
session?
was here.
The deputy was not in the executive session, he sat
So,
out here
so,
the
so
whole
this here is
time.
just being misread here, the way this was
Yeah, I
entered
believe it
in.
I'm
is.
saying that because
He
I
was here.
stood with him.
It's the minutes, it's been
Well, it
signed,
said, it
right?
said present right here, News Journal, Richland source, Andrew Keller, Mike Bear, Lieutenant Zahner.
Well, they
That means
were
president
here
of the meeting.
until
Who signed
the
these minutes?
meeting was closed.
We did.
But they
So
weren't
what's your
here.
point?
Same as the
Jesus
township
Christ, they were in the
trustees.
fucking meeting, but they were not in the executive session. Do you not listen to
No, I
Al is
listen-
about as impartial as anybody I know. Zahner and those people you allege were in it were not in that goddamn meeting.
Okay, so you guys just went off the record to get an answer and came back. That's all we were asking. If that's the way it is, I
We talked to
understand.
Andrew Keller. He introduced Mr. Wagner. We talked about the situation that we had at hand on this land contract, and we came back out of session. That's what we did.
Okay, that's fine, that's clear. That clarifies this document that was misread or misinterpreted. Okay, just reading this, it sounded like, because here's the thing.
Apparently, we aren't making clear who is in these executive sessions.
Well, here's the
with
thing, this was a,
What they do-
this
let
was
me-
a closed
let me
session.
explain
Was
something.
I able to
Wait,
get in there?
Stop.
Who are you?
He's Al.
Let me explain something.
Lawrence.
What they do here first
Who are you?
is,
He's Al Lawrence.
What is your
does it
function?
matter? I was here. I'm explaining to him what
Are you an
happens.
elected official?
No, I'm not, but I'm trying to
Then don't
straighten out and
speak for
bring the
them. Don't
truth.
speak for them.
I'm trying to bring the
Write it
truth.
down and I'll
Are you
listen.
his attorney?
Yes. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Are you his?
I don't need an
No,
attorney, I don't need an attorney, I'm just looking for an answer.
What
Now
they
listen,
normally
listen.
Hold on,
do,
hold on,
and
hold
where I
on.
think you're going wrong,
See the guy he's
okay,
partnering with?
is when they start the meeting, they list
Which one's
everybody
the
who was
Oh, yeah,
present when the
one
meeting,
left,
when
one left.
they start the meeting
The guy on
and
the
it's
right.
an open session.
He was
And
convicted of
what
poison
it
last
sounds
year.
like
His dad
that's
does
what
the
you're
largest
reading,
cocaine
is
crack
who's
deal in
here
Washington
when the
State.
session was open.
Well, here's what I am reading, because it was called
Yeah.
for the prosecutor's office, but I don't know who called for that
Same
meeting.
guy.
Okay, it was called for on Tuesday. We were, the public,
guy was tagged
I
with
was
the
told,
largest
I didn't show
crack
up,
cocaine
somebody
deal
showed
in
up and said they
Washington
couldn't get
State.
into the meeting. So what I'm saying is, then everybody that says on here was here. Nobody else could get in. That's an
Well,
executive
they-
session, is when you block the public, that's an issue.
They were not here for the executive session. Those people were all here when the meeting started.
But why were
All
they-
the executive session.
But
Yeah,
why
that's
were
all
they
waiting for.
named for the meeting?
That's
I
the
wasn't
one that had
named
the
for
gun.
being here
That's
today.
in school.
By racial family.
Why were they, that's my question.
And
Why are
actually,
their
the
names
daughter-
even
the
printed
boy-
on here when they don't probably
That's
put
Steve
everybody's
Montgomery's
names that
daughter.
was here?
Well, they list the people that they know and can identify.
Well, I was
That's the only
understanding it was a closed
So,
session that day. People
Charles
came in, could not get
The
into the
girl's a
meeting
female?
like
His wife
Zander
now?
did that day.
Yeah, when I was leaving, they closed the door, the two
No.
attorneys, as Tim said, were
went
sitting
to
here
school with
the three
Stan-
commissioners,
Stan's
those were the
mom,
only
North
people who were in this meeting.
So we don't,
Zander was out
so
outside
since there's
of
no
the-
minutes, there was no, those guys were here, they said
White on the
nothing.
left,
They had no
there's
questions.
Karen Montgomery.
What happened that day? No
They're
questions?
not
White
required,
on the right.
under
That's Karen
sunshine
Montgomery's
law,
daughter.
they're not required to keep minutes of the meeting, only to
I'm
report.
I'm not talking about the
Yeah,
executive
that's the kid
session.
at the top.
I'm talking
That's
about
what
in the
they got in
meeting
school.
that drew the executive session. What question made them go into session? That's my question. That's not even in the
What drew
minutes.
us into,
Yeah, because there's no minutes here.
a meeting, an issue with a land contract that we made.
Okay, so that was their question out here, then you guys went into your session, came back in agreement with your answer. That's how I understand executive session. The way I was being interpreted or told about these minutes here, these guys were all in this executive session together, the public was not allowed in. That's what's out there, okay, let's squash
Well,
that.
that's,
That is
the
so.
commissioners were here with the two representatives of the prosecutor's office.
Yeah.
But the door is closed to the public.
That's correct.
Yes.
You can't do
Which
that.
is,
Yes, you can.
which is allowed under the Ohio Sunshine Law. That's one of the exceptions, pending or imminent litigation.
Here's what people are getting upset with Donald Zander, okay? He's not one of the officers involved in the shooting of the Garber shooting. 3 days after the shooting, he's in Mr. P's bar, drunk off his ass, bragging about shooting him, thought another piece of shit out of the way. There's a girl there saw him saying this, she's like to take a video of it. Took a video of Donald Zander saying this with his girlfriend, and the bartender, the female bartender owner, was having fun with him. Saying it out loud, blows through from us. One guy got up and said, that's very funny, you need to stop it. And the guy said, yeah, disrespectful to the family, the guy's not even around yet, shut up, it's not funny. This girl had pictures and videos of this.
Mr. Pease.
Mr. P is recently, after this happened, they found out she had this video. This girl's been pulled over and arrested 4 different times by the same deputies involved. First thing that took her cell phone from her, deleted everything from her and told her, keep your mouth shut, because we'll get you again until you learn a lesson. This girl is in hiding right now because 4 times she's been arrested and pulled over for stupid stuff.
I never saw anything.
Once you get the meat grinder, you're fucked.
And when they got
I'm
her
ready
the
for the
first
meat
time-
grinder. They want to come over and play games with me.